Strongly cautioned, the following programs are intended for mature audiences over the age of 18. These programs may contain some material that many parents would not find suitable for children and may include intense violence, sexual situations, coarse language, and suggestive dialogue.
So you guys know the night before Halloween, we have to have a badass fucking guest.
Of course we did.
Seen her video a bunch on our page, and you're going to see it a couple more times because you're going to see it tonight, and you're going to see it again on fucking Friday. So we got Kelley Strange from Strange Like Me on, and for those of you watching, open up a second browser and just go like the band page like right now.
To do it
right fucking now.
We suggest it very much so, yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Big fans over here. So the way that we do this, we play a game with you guys. Tonight's you. And you can either roll the dice or you can pick a number, and it is 1 through 67. So it is all up to you whether you take control in your own hands or you want to roll the dice.
How about 5? That's my favorite.
Number 5, we can do that one, is voice advice care. What kind of advice can you give somebody that's just starting out and trying to hit those notes that I can't hit them notes? I don't know how you do it, girl.
Well, being warmed up is key, of course. You know, you can't just like wake up in the morning and like and then like sing opera, right? You know, you got to like stay well hydrated. You've got to do your warm-ups. You know, sometimes I do warm-ups, and sometimes my warm-ups are just singing easy songs until my voice is kind of a bit more fluid and happy, you know. Other times it's just doing, that kind of stuff. And then just kind of going up like you do in like high school chorus. You do that kind of stuff too, and just making weird noises and
like
whatever you want to do.
You stretch, you're stretching out the vocal cords.
We've heard, is there like bad food that you definitely don't want to eat like before like recording or doing a show?
Yes. So I like to stay away from anything that's like any like milk-based thing, because it causes a lot of just like sticky phlegm, and like your secretions just get really thick and awful, and you're like so yeah, definitely stay away from that. And I would imagine maybe like spicy foods could be problematic, especially if like you have like lingering spices and you go to breathe in and one like tickles your vocal cord and you're like, oh shit. And then you just start coughing, and then you cough, and then you start producing this like thick like spit, and then you start having to clear your throat. It's this whole thing.
It's a long process from there.
Just can we not do that, please? Like, I hate
so
that.
Glad I'm not a vocalist. I'm just a bass player.
and like the worst is when you choke on your spit unexpectedly. Like, you're just living your life, and all of a sudden you're like, and then it's like it's all over. It takes like an hour to recover from that, and it's the worst.
Yeah, that's shit that you really don't think about. Even with me being a musician myself, like it's never something I've ever thought about because I've never been a vocalist. I've never done vocals. I tried. I used to think that I could whenever I was like a teenager and I was in a band, and found out that me and doing I can't even scream. It is horrible. It sounds god awful. Like I sound like a fucking cat in heat. It's just not. It's not okay.
I think we all go through that, and sometimes I still feel like I sound like that. Especially if I'm trying to learn like how to do a fry scream. Like right now I've got like a mid false chord that I do pretty consistently, relatively well. That's what I do most everything on our songs is like a mid false chord. But like when I try to do that like that like up here screaming thing, like I just cannot get volume on it. It makes me cough. I'm like, man, how are you all doing that? I'm singing, and I want to just I'm like, I cannot.
I know that's like some like Danny Filth shit from Cradle Filth. I don't know how the hell that man can scream so fucking high pitched, and I'm just like, how the hell do they do that?
Well, you see, there's lots of compression, probably a little bit of like, grabbage, if you know what I'm saying. You gotta, you gotta get up high, you gotta like push, you gotta be having some like JVD going on. It's hashtag nurse stuff.
That was fucking hilarious. All right, so you want to pick another number, or you want to roll?
Well, in the spirit of Halloween, let's do unlucky number 13.
If you had an unlimited budget, what kind of video would you make for your, I don't know, any song you like?
Unlimited cats.
Like bazillion cats?
I would like to just be in a sea of cats.
Like crowd surf? Can you crowd surf cats?
Probably not.
I wonder. They'd probably get mad, and I'd probably get really furry and really scratched up and probably sneeze a lot, but it would totally be worth it. No, in all actuality, probably just some like really cool CGI stuff. Like, I don't know. I think that'd be really fun.
I really like it, like the claymation stuff.
Right. Isn't that awesome?
Yes. That's what got me in the video, because I was like really focusing. I was just watching that little, I don't even know what it is. Is it a bunny? Is it like, what is he? He just kind of goes down the
He just kind of chills out. I'm trying to remember what I named him. It'll come to me like later on, and I'm going to say a name, and you're going to be like, what?
I'll know what you mean. I'll have it.
Yeah, no, you're I don't know how you could trump your video, because your videos are some of like the best videos I've ever seen in like music videos. They're so amazingly artistic, and they just visually they're extremely pleasing. Of course, that's come from me because I'm attached to neon color things. Obviously, I don't know why I like neon colors, but those bright colors was the first thing that led me to even clicking on your video to watch it, and I'm glad that I did.
Yeah.
Well, the coolest thing is like everybody in the band is so creative, and there's there's just so many ideas getting bounced off one another, and like that whole idea like was just like the group was together and like, what can we do to like kind of have our own signature? What can set us apart from other people? What can we do that'll be visually exciting? And then like, what about bright neon paint? And I'm like, yeah. And we can like do stuff with it.
Do stuff. Then we're gonna do this.
Yeah, we're just gonna like do stuff with it and be cool and stuff. Like, I don't know. I kind of was just along for the ride because this is my first experience ever being with a band, especially people that like know what they're doing. And I'm just like, hi, I'm just like, I hang out in my house and play music, and like, you want me to like be in your band? That's cool.
You're learning a lot though.
I am. I'm learning lots of things and I'm super excited about it.
So, bonus question before we get back into rolling or picking, how did you even end up meeting them and end up in the band? Is that something you were actually like looking to do and actually like physically looking for, or did it just like fall in your lap?
It just like literally was handed to me on a silver platter, and it was the weirdest thing because I like my primary platform where I play my music and sing and perform is on TikTok. So I'll do TikTok lives. And about a year ago, I was just playing music, singing, and this group came in and they were like, hi, we're Soap Guitars. And I'm like, hi, you guys are cool. Let me look at your stuff. And I'm like, oh, those are pretty cool looking guitars. Sweet. And then they just kind of came into my lives a bit more. And eventually, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want a purple sparkly guitar someday. I'm gonna have to squirrel away some money because I'm like, I gotta have one of these, right? And then a few weeks later, they messaged me and they're like, hey, like, we want to make you a guitar. And I'm like,
Are you listening to me?
Me? You want to make me a guitar? These people must be into like human trafficking because there is no way they're trying to like get me to come up and get a guitar. Red
Right,
flag.
for free.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you want to make me a guitar. Sure, okay, fine, whatever. Yeah, make me a guitar. Make the bedroom guitarist, whatever. And no shit, like a week later, like they're messaging me like slabs of wood and paint swatches, and I'm like, oh my God, this is real. Like they're actually making me a guitar. Like I thought, in my mind, I'm like perpetually like low self-esteem. I'm like, all right, so they're gonna like fly me up there and then there's not gonna be anything and they're just gonna all be there like, haha, you thought you were cool and you thought you were getting a guitar. Go away, you suck. Like I'm just like imagining all of these like terrible scenarios that everyone like thinks about, and they just feel bad. But no, like they legit, they followed through. And when I was up there, I met some other people and like, all these connections come together. And then next thing I know, people are bouncing like musical ideas off of me. And I'm introduced to some other people who I now am making music with. And I never knew them from anyone else. And it just all just kind of happened because, they came into my stream. They liked my content. They liked my personality. And they're just like, you seem like a cool person. Let's work with you. And it's been just really fun ever since.
Holy crap. I've heard a lot of stories, but nothing ever like that. So those of you that are watching, trust me, just fucking around on social media, you have no idea what could come of it.
It's
right?
so true. I never imagined.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So that actually leads me into, one more bonus question before we get back to the game. How do you feel about music as far as like being on the internet and being a band in this time to where like, back in the day, there was no internet, you had to get bound through doing that. Would you rather it go back to the way it was, or do you like how it is with you guys having so much control over your music that you don't necessarily need like the management and the record labels and all these people with their hands in it and basically controlling you guys?
Honestly, having never experienced anything else, I mean, I think this has been the coolest process ever. I like the ability to do what we want to do because You know, we don't have anyone saying like, yeah, but like, can you do better? Or like, yeah, that's not really what the people want to listen to. And like, yeah, we're not going to pay for that or whatever. So we just kind of do what we want to do. And that's what makes it fun, is that no one is like holding the proverbial leash.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with what we've got.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer. Yeah. Probably one of the better answers that we've gotten on that question.
Yeah.
There's,
you know, there's things about the old way that probably were cool, you know, but having never lived it, I can't tell you like what is better or worse about it other than the control.
Right.
And that's not the place I want control.
No.
All right. You want to pick a number? You want to roll?
All right. You choose this time.
Roll it. Roll it.
Give me a number.
12.
All right.
If you could have a sold out concert in the US and in overseas, where would those two places be?
Okay. A sold out concert in the US.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Anywhere you want.
It can be on a coconut tree in Florida.
I'm gonna say
where you want it.
Okay, I gotta think of like the logistics behind this, because of course it's like where I want to be, right? It's as much as where I want to be and who's there, right? So I gotta think about my demographics. So I'm assuming that anyone who can afford to live in California probably has enough money to buy a band T-shirt, right?
Oh,
so just say for fun, let's just say LA, right? Because I think maybe or somewhere in that general neck of the woods, because that sounds like a really cool place. Big melting pot of people. I think that'd be fun. And then if it was anywhere overseas, I think it would be really fun maybe to be in, I don't know, somewhere in like England or something. I think that would be fun because there's a lot of metalheads there.
Oh, yeah. We've discovered that very quickly.
And of course, like Sweden would be cool, but like I love the fact that in England there wouldn't be a huge like barrier, and I don't know pretty much any other language. I know little bits and pieces of Spanish just from like living everyday life and, you know, asking people where their dolor is, you know, like, but that's about it.
I should definitely understood. All right, so you want to roll the dice or do you want to pick?
How about 20?
20. What is your stripper name?
Kelley Strange?
You don't want to know your real name.
I was waiting. Come on, you guys.
Wait, I don't know. Something about like your road you grew up on, and like there's something that always went around with like your stripper name is the last thing you ate, the color of your underwear, and the road you lived on as a kid. And I'm like, oh, nice try getting my information. Rude. Yeah, no, I've never actually thought about what my stripper name would be, but that definitely will make me think tonight on what my stripper name would be.
I knew it was going to be something bad as soon as you were laughing. I was like, oh, God, start laughing.
My stripper name is my name.
We'll do one of the bad ones.
I love that. That's so funny.
All right. Next,
all right.
Or you want to pick one?
Random roll.
Random roll. Here we go. 54. Rock, paper, scissors with Jagz DeVille.
Really? I'm going to lose. I always lose. All right.
Scissors.
I done lost. I was going to do paper. She already beat me.
Do you have like a Dungeons and Dragons dice in there or something that you're rolling?
Everybody asks about the dice.
Dice?
Oh.
Just some good old-fashioned homemade wooden dice, guys. I just made it
fantastic.
Yeah.
Although
I had to write numbers on them because I didn't want to sit and count all the freaking dots and try to like add them all up.
Gave me an idea of what to get you for freaking Yule now.
Yeah, you just gotta get some like go to Etsy, get some D&D dice.
I'm gonna buy you some like custom made. I'm gonna buy you some.
Mine is custom.
I'm gonna buy some like crazy ass shit, and they're gonna have like pot leaves all over them and shit.
You gotta get some like resin ones. It'll be really cool.
But these are all natural wooden.
Wood is good.
Like that. See?
Very
Never know.
versatile. Very
Gonna
versatile.
Anything.
What
I
did the
might
numbers
get
go up through again?
67 at
67?
this point, yeah.
Okay. How about 50? Do we do 50 yet?
No, we have not. If you had intro music every time that you walked in a door, what would it be?
Mm.
What would it be?
Oh, that's a good question. I've been wondering about like what my wrestling intro music would be forever and ever.
Well, think about it. We got that question in there too. You might roll it.
Okay. Oh dear. So I think it would be cool, like, I don't know, to have just something instantaneously screaming. Like what comes to mind is like All That Remains, This Calling or something.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, yeah, like, and you're like, yeah, hello, motherfuckers. I have entered the room.
Right? Like, I'm here.
I am here. I'm present. I'm here to kick your ass.
That's right.
Never been in a fight. Actually, not here to kick anyone's ass. Here to hide.
That would be kind of nice.
I'm just pretending.
I used to go to this bar quite frequently, like way back in the day. And I got to where I knew like all the bartenders and everything. And they had like it wasn't like a jukebox. It was like one of those wall ones that you can go up and put dollars.
Like a touch tone or whatever.
But they could actually control it without putting money into it. And it got to the point where every time I'd walk in, because it's one of the songs I always played first whenever I go, I'd put a bunch of money in because it was like a little hole in the wall bar that hardly anybody ever went to. But I would go to it, and instantly, whenever I walk through the door, they play "Walk with Me in Hell" by Lamb of God.
Very nice.
Time. I'm just like, well, there's my damn intro music. I got
There's my theme song. Fun. I love it.
All right, you want to roll or you want to pick?
Okay, how about 35?
35. Are you self-taught or have you gone to school for your music abilities?
I'm self-taught, with the exception of just, my chorus teacher helping me out when I was growing up. He had some good intel for me. I've never taken actual voice lessons or anything. It's all trial and error and hoping that I'm not damaging anything, but not knowing any better.
Yeah.
That's kind of like me. I used to play. I played in the chorus band, and my high school had an actual band that played with the chorus, and I played bass for them. Well, I couldn't read music, and I didn't want to tell them that I couldn't read music. Everybody else could, so I would literally take the sheets when they gave us the songs to learn. I would just throw them away at home.
Oh no!
And then I would sit up for hours just because I play by ear. So I would just sit there and listen until I picked it up and got all the right notes, and I'd instantly memorize everything as fast as I could. But they all through school, they never knew that I could not read sheet music.
That's so fun.
We'd have it in front of us on table. I wouldn't even look at that thing. I'm just sitting there freaking playing because I would memorize all the songs.
What did you play? You look like you're playing a saxophone.
Well, I played bass. I played.
Oh,
stand-up bass.
Oh, that's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's more about feeling in that particular instance, anyway. Hello, Bailey.
Yeah. All right, so you want to roll or you want to pick?
How about 25? And pretty soon, I'm going to start picking numbers that I already picked, so don't make fun of me.
We won't.
Okay. Least favorite interview question.
I've only had 2 interviews, so probably what would your intro music be? Because I don't have an answer.
I thought it was the stripper name. Come on.
No, that one was fun. I like that.
Mojo just got slammed.
It's not that I don't actually like it. I just was not prepared for it, nor did I know how to answer it. And I was like, my brain just went.
Blue. Oh, we got more like that too. So
good.
We got lots. We got tons.
You're stepping on my camera.
I'm going to throw a bonus question at you, and we always love to ask this one. So you're locked in a house for 24 hours. You cannot get out. Mm-hmm. What horror icon are you locked in there with? Now you got to remember, Do you
See,
want
you
to
thought mine was
ask, or do you want to answer?
I was hoping you were going to ask me which room would I want to be in.
No.
room A or room B?
I would like to be in either the bathroom or the kitchen, first and foremost. That's my own answer to my own question. Secondly, I'm not going to lie to you. I am not a horror movie person.
Oh, shit.
No.
Like,
Well,
that
think
probably
about how long you
surprises
want to
you.
live.
Say that again?
Think about how long you want to live. There's
How
many
long I
characters.
want to live.
Yeah, because they're in, because you're locked in a house, right? So the last thing
Mhm.
you want is to be chased around by, I don't know, somebody that you can't get away from.
Okay, realistically then, I want to be around some big scary guy that can't fit through the door so that I'm safe in a small little room or closet. Or someone who... I wish I knew more like horror movie people so I would know.
There's Chucky. There's who else
Hmm.
is there? Jason. There's
Oh.
Freddy, the Predator, the Blob.
Oh God. You have just like unleashed so much of my childhood trauma just now. I'm not even kidding you. Like at least 2 or 3 of those I have like a story about. Yeah, I legit, I don't know. Like I would like to survive my trip to the horror hotel, but if I'm not going to survive, I would prefer to just probably get, so maybe Jason would probably be the best bet. Who's the hottest? No, I'm kidding.
Which one? You're like, what can I do here?
Hey, so you gonna like tie me down or what? Like, are we at least gonna make this fun before you kill me?
Right?
No.
Shoot, go out with a smile on your face at least. Shit.
I mean, if you're gonna be tied down, it's most likely gonna be like Chucky or somebody. But I like
dolls. Definitely not a thing.
Yeah.
I like to tell people Leprechaun because you just give him the damn pot of gold, he's gonna fucking leave you alone, and it's game over. So,
oh, but I don't have any gold.
or there's the creature from the Black Lagoon because it can only breathe so long out of water. It's a damn fish. So
that's
I mean,
fair.
Just
don't go
running for a little bit, and he's gonna eventually collapse and die.
Is there ever like a horror movie where like they're going out to kill you and then like they find you and they're like, wait a minute, you're cool as shit. Let's have some snacks and talk about like existential crisis stuff. And then they don't end up killing you? Whoever that guy is.
There is a scary movie where they made the spoof on Ghostface Killer and they got high with him in that fish tank and he just sat there and got stoned with them. Because they turned
like
the tank into a giant log. Yeah. Where they did the whole spoof and scary movie.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess that wouldn't be so bad. I mean, I've swear on the baby Jesus. Never been high before. But that sounds like, if I'm going to get like sliced and diced, maybe it wouldn't be quite as bad if like we were having a party or something. But yeah, I've never done that.
Hey, I guess that's going to go out.
Mojo's like, really? She's going from our
blink, switched out.
The only person I think can outsmoke Snoop Dogg is her right there.
I know a guy.
All right. So you want to roll or do you want to pick one?
Why don't you just roll it this time?
Roll it. We are at 63. Last song you sang in the shower.
I think I sang Doomsday by Gore in the shower last.
Ooh, we just found out about them and we love them.
Mm-hmm.
I just discovered them like, what was it, 2-3 weeks ago, Mojo, when we played there. One of the videos I found. I've been like listening the shit out of them here recently.
Oh my gosh, like that song is primo. Like it had my attention immediately. I peek my head outside and watch the cops kill all my neighbors' kids. What? Like, I'm immediately invested in this. What's going on here? What is this? What is this? Like, so like I usually hear lyrics. So like the way my brain works is I hear, are you familiar? I've never played The Sims before, but there's this thing called Simlish, right? Where it sounds kind of like you speaking, but it's all just gibberish that makes no sense. That's basically what my brain hears. When I first hear a song, I am digesting the musical component. I'm breaking it down into rhythm, lead, bass, all the other stuff. And then I just hear the inflection and the melody and harmony in the background, but I don't know what the hell they're saying. It takes me like 17 listens before I'm like, okay, I'm happy enough with how my brain has digested the music to now move on to what's being said or read the lyrics. But this one was like lyrics first, which is very unusual for me. And that's when I know a song is going to capture me, is when I notice the words first.
Yeah. Does the mind switch on you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you kind of have to catch me in the first like 15 seconds with like either the like guitar riffs, something catchy. It's got to get me, and theirs was one of the ones that like caught me in the first like 10 seconds. I was just like, holy shit. Okay, now I got to listen. And I was blown away by their stuff, and I love their music. So I'm glad there's somebody out there that listens to them other than us.
Yeah, I'm like, I low-key want to be Haley's like BFF, you know, like she looks really cool and I want to hang out with her. And I'm sad that I don't.
Actually currently been on tour with After the Burial. So for those of you that got to see them live with After the Burial, I am super jealous because I really wanted to see that tour leg, and it did not come anywhere near me. So
right, they're all over in Texas, and I'm like crowds in Arizona.
Yeah, I was hoping because usually they do come down to like Florida and stuff, and I'm pretty close to Florida. I could pretty much get to, Orlando's only like 4-hour drive for me. So I'm like, if you do anything from Orlando up, I'm going. And I'm looking, I'm like, son of a bitch. There's nothing in Florida. All right, so you want to roll or you want to pick a number?
23. Let's go Michael Jordan.
Ideal filming spot for your videos. We already did that one, didn't we?
Yeah, basically just anywhere there's cats.
Yeah, cats.
Yeah,
how about one luxury thing that you would like to have on your tour bus? So if you can have a tour bus, anything that you want, what would you want on there?
I think just a tour bus in general would be very luxurious.
I just want the tour.
First and foremost.
But if you get to pick, like what you gonna pick? I mean, you can have one of those refrigerators that are always full, or a hot tub on top, or
I was thinking like maybe a hot tub or something, but like that's I don't ever think about like all these like luxurious things, like because like I have so few like wants that I don't just have just living. But I think maybe like a full-sized bed or something, because I know oftentimes tour buses have those dinky little beds, and even though I like sleep in like my own little area of my bed, like just knowing that I have a little room to like maybe stretch my leg out would be nice. So maybe just like a nice bed, because I like sleeping.
Nice bed with a pillow. You want a pillow?
Oh yeah, gotta have the pillows, but like gotta have my pillow. Like it can't just be any pillow. It's got to be the pillow that I've had like forever and ever. Right. Don't even ask to look at it. It's bad. Forget I said anything. These are not the drugs you're looking for.
I love the Star Wars reference. Because I'm going to pick that up. I'm the big, huge Star Wars nerd in here.
Oh my gosh. I've just gotten done watching all of the animated stuff, and we're just going back through and rewatching like everything in order now that like I have a bit more intel on the backside. What up?
Freaking I am a huge fan of anything Star Wars, and I think I've watched Clone Wars probably 6 times all the way through every season.
I got an interview question for you. Who is the hottest Star Wars character to you?
Ahsoka.
Princess Leia.
No,
that's fair.
Ahsoka.
That is fair.
No, I'm going old school. Mm-mm.
Okay. Unpopular. Kid Fisto.
Really?
Okay, I can dig that.
Animated Kid Fisto.
Yeah, he's got
really freaking hot.
Baka.
I don't even care if he's aquatic and has weird tentacles. Like, he's hot. And
you can just say it's like dreads. I mean,
they're like flesh dreads.
Yeah.
Like, I want to touch you.
Yeah, I mean, I can get with that. I like Kit Fisto.
Although, of course, animated Anakin Skywalker is pretty smoking too, for being honest. But
I could take that. I could take that.
But hey, this is your interview, not mine.
Oh no, you're good. I probably think I just took the most popular. Most guys are going to say Ahsoka. So I mean, but it's not for me. It's probably not the animated series, like because I'm more of like I like Rosario Dawson. So she's
yeah,
holy smokes. But like
got the zoomies.
I guess female from the animated series. Shit, I really don't know. I guess I would have to go with Syndulla from Rebels.
Hair is beautiful. I will give you that.
Yeah, I'd have to go Hera Syndulla from Rebels would be mine if we're talking animated series.
And I love it too because she's never dressed provocatively. She's just beautiful, even in her like little jumpsuit. Like you just know she's rocking it under there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. All right, so you want to roll or you want to pick?
40.
40. When you take a drink, do you have your pinky up or is your pinky down?
Depends on what I'm drinking.
If you take a drink,
and how pretentious I'm being. If I'm just drinking normally, no pinky up. But if I'm trying to be like a goofy bitch, then I'll like pinky up, like sipping the tea. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like a weirdo. Every time I pick up my cup or a can or anything, my pinky's up in the air like I just don't care. It's just like, hey.
Your pinky's up in the air like you're about ready to go to the English castle or whatever.
I'll go there.
Okay.
I'll hang out.
It looks like a fun place to go.
All right. So what you got next?
42.
42, the most uncomfortable outfit you have had to wear on stage.
Well, the only times I've ever performed on stage were like in college. I did some rock ensemble stuff and I never wore anything uncomfortable because, the whole point of performing is, looking good and feeling comfortable. So I never wore anything that I was uncomfortable wearing. I think if I were going to be uncomfortable wearing something, it would be something ultra revealing in a way that I did not feel was very what's the word I'm looking for?
Necessary.
I'm going to kick myself when I think of the word flattering. Like if something is not a flattering outfit, I would not be excited about wearing it. I'm not opposed to, having things showing, but like, don't highlight the areas of my body that I'm like not super excited about. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah,
I get it.
Lay down.
I get it. All right. So you want to roll or you want to pick?
How about roll it this time?
51.
51.
If you can do a song mashup, what 2 songs would you mash up?
Year Zero by Ghost and The Pit by Priest.
I actually have a very interesting story about the song Year Zero.
Let's hear it.
I was working for a radio station down in Jacksonville, and I was at Welcome to Rockville doing photography and stuff. Now, I was up there for the set for Lacey Sturm. And I'm looking at, she just got off stage and got finished up. And there was a bunch of like Christian camps that came because Skillet was also playing that night. So as soon as Lacey Sturm's over, I'm taking out the schedule to see what bands are coming up, to see if there's anything I haven't really caught before or whatever. And I'm looking, and I'm like, I've seen that band. Ghost is on that stage right after Lacey Sturm. And I'm like, never heard of them. I'm going to hang out. Well, then I see the backdrops drop, and I'm like, is that Baphomet? That's Baphomet. And I'm looking out there, and they just stayed. All these Christian groups stayed, and you can see their eyes getting real wide. And I'm like, oh shit! And then all of a sudden, they had fog machines. The smoke comes rolling, and then they start doing the very beginning, that chant of Year Zero, and just repeating it over and over and over. These people are losing their flipping minds at this point. And
clutching their pearls. Oh no.
Losing their shit. I'm like, oh, this is going to be fantastic. And I'm like, putting the camera out to the crowd. I'm
You're like Michael Jackson with your popcorn.
Oh,
yeah.
I ran up there, got another Jack and Coke, and went back over there. I'm like, oh, here we go. This is going to be great. And then they came out, and like these people were losing their ever-loving minds. And I was like, oh, shit.
Although realistically, the best thing they could have done was followed up with Skillet to like cleanse the palate of Satan, you know?
No, they didn't. Skillet was on like one of the other stages clear across the damn way on like a whole nother stage, like way later that night. And I was just like, they had to do that shit on purpose. I know damn well somebody did.
They scared them across to the other stage, and then there was Skillet on the silver platter.
Oh, it was
perfect.
It was too good. It was too good. All right, so you want to roll or you want to pick?
Roll.
14. Okay. What strings do you like to use the best for your guitar?
So I like Dario NYXL. I think those are the best I've ever used so far. They've just got this, they're so smooth, glidey, bendy. They're just perfect.
Very good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. I think I've used their bass strings once upon a time, but I don't really remember because I started using Dean Markley's, and I've been using Dean Markley's for a very long time now. All right, so you want to roll or you want to pick?
How about 55?
55 is 3 songs on your morning playlist. What are we rocking out?
I have different morning playlists for different things. So sometimes when I'm feeling kind of like sad or brain dead and I don't really want to think about anything or rock out, I'll put on like a lo-fi coffee house kind of just bad porn music, basically. I'll listen to that like while I'm driving and just kind of like dissociate. But if I am like thinking specifically, things in the past that have been on my playlist in the morning, I used to wake up to some Lamb of God. Memento Mori would be like my wake up song because it's just slowly awakens you with that beautiful like intro, and it's wake up, and you're like, oh, okay. Oh my God, just stop screaming at me. Oh my God. I also used to wake up to, there's a group, Magna Carta Cartel or MCC. I love them. I would wake up to their song Arrows because that also has a really awesome just opening scene that you just wake up so nice. Like, oh.
Yeah, that's another band you can throw the Ghost reference in for because does Omega still play for them? I think he does.
He does. And you probably saw Ghost back when there was like Omega and Alpha and like the original crew.
Yep.
I still am just so bitter. I went to Rock on the Range in 2013 because I used to live in Western New York. And they apparently were there on like the second or third stage. I had no idea who they were until like 3 years later. And I missed them. The original lineup and everything, Infestissimum era, I was like, no. Once I realized the mistake that I had made, and I'm like afraid to go to any kind of like festivals now because I'm like, I can't see all the people. And who is going to be that band for me 3 years from now that I am going to be absolutely kicking my own ass because I didn't get to see?
Well,
and then I'm like,
I think that same way too, which is why like whenever I look, I try to find bands that I've never listened to before or I haven't heard of, and I will go watch them unless there's just a band that I absolutely love and I just can't stand to miss their set, then I will. But if there's like some band I've seen like 15, 20 times, I'm gonna go catch those smaller bands because I have found so many bands that way, like Fire from the Gods. First time I seen them at Welcome to Rockville, never heard of them. I went and seen them. They were freaking amazing, and I'm so glad I caught them. That's how I found out about In This Moment, is they were really small, and they were one of the first bands on like early morning on this festival. Like I'm talking like 11:30 in the morning, very first band up.
Wow.
And it was In This Moment, and I was just like blown away by them. I'm like, these bands are awesome, and people have no idea what they're missing if they don't go check out those like more unknown bands.
I want to say that In This Moment was on the second stage, I think, when I was at Rock on the Range, because I watched briefly, but I was like kind of in passing to see another band that I really wanted to see. Of course, I don't remember who it was at this point in time, but I remember seeing Maria Brink up there in her weird like white feathered crap, and I'm like, oh, Maria Brink.
That's
moving right along.
I loved In This Moment in their like early days, because I actually caught them again a couple months later. They actually toured with Nonpoint and Mudvayne. And Mudvayne was the headliner. So I went, and they were playing. Mudvayne's one of my favorite all-time bands.
Same.
I went to go see them, and at that time, In This Moment, I loved their stage show. Well, I went a couple of years ago to see them again, and In This Moment was the main band. And it was like, she was like the Britney Spears of heavy metal. She did more changing clothes than they did playing songs. And I think in like a 2-hour set list, I think they only played like 7 songs in 2 hours, because they were just constantly changing stuff. And it wasn't like they had a rotating stage that they could have different sets and all that. They were like taking everything down and putting shit up, taking everything down, putting shit up. And I'm just like,
no desire.
This is ridiculous. Like, I want to see music in a show. Like, I don't care about what wardrobe you're wearing on what song. I could really care less. Just play the music.
Yeah, I'm like, the only way I want to change my outfit is, if someone like throws something on me, or if I get like doused in paint or something, that, if that's part of the shtick or whatever, I think that'd be fun. But like, I don't really see any purpose in changing clothes, because nobody really cares.
So
really don't.
Obviously you like the aesthetic thing, because you guys obviously have an aesthetic and stuff like that. You wear the masks and the costumes and stuff like that. So I also like to ask this question: how do you feel about bands doing that and people saying that, oh, it's gimmicky, they shouldn't do that, that's stupid, blah blah blah, so on and so forth?
It is gimmicky, but that's the fun. Like, the word gimmick doesn't have to be a negative connotation. Like,
True.
I love masks. I have been enthralled with masks ever since Slipknot. Like, they captured my soul in like 2002. And Jim Root, Iowa era. Hi. Hi.
All right, fair enough.
Like, don't know why, but ever since that, it's like, ooh, this band has a mask. Like, that was what drew me to Ghost initially. I found them. I was looking through this article online about, like, I want to say it was like 2013's best or creepiest music videos. And I'm like looking down through, and there's like Portal Curtain, and I'm like, ooh, scary. And then that's how I found the song Zenith by Huntress. Like, so I was just like looking through, and then I saw Ghost, and I'm like listening to it, and immediately I was like, oh my God, they're wearing masks, but I'm scared. I shouldn't be listening to this. And I got nervous, and I turned it off because I was afraid, because, I grew up a Christian, I'm not, whatever. But then, seeing that like made me nervous, because I'm like, oh, this is forbidden things that I should not be listening to. And then as soon as I realized that, I'm like, music is just music. I don't have to worry about my fate based on what other people do. Like, music is music to me. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, obviously there's certain connotations that I would not be interested in listening to, and those are just egregious acts that we won't talk about. But aside from that, if it's just like a tongue-in-cheek kind of like satanic thing, like, it's funny. It's just funny. And whatever. I got over it, and then I'm like, oh, hey, Omega, what's up? What's up?
Fair enough.
Like, you want to hang out? Yeah. Masks. I cannot. I don't know.
That's
Fair
the thing.
enough. All right. Well, I mean, I agree with you because I mean, even I've been in bands where we wore masks, and I've always been into it. And of course, Mudvayne was kind of one of those first bands because they had the face paint when they first came out. And it was fucking amazing. And I seen Slipknot by accident. I went to the Jägermeister music tour in Atlanta one year, and I was actually there to see Killswitch Engage because it was Shadows Fall, Killswitch Engage, and Slipknot. Now, Slipknot was the headliner. But I didn't have a fucking clue who the hell Slipknot was. Never heard of them ever in my life. And when they came out, I was just like, I immediately, as soon as their set was over, I probably dropped like $300 on merch easily. I was just like, take it. I want everything that I could buy. I think I left with like 6 or 7 shirts because, I mean, merch was a lot cheaper back then.
Mm-hmm.
It's not $5 for a t-shirt like it is now in some places.
Which era were they in for you when you saw them?
I believe that I think Iowa had just came out. It was either right at the end of their self-titled or it was right at the beginning of Iowa. I can't remember what year it was, but I think it was definitely early 2000s. So I think it was probably Iowa that had just come out, but they still had the jumpsuits and all that shit. And it was just, to me, it was mind blowing. Like the very first song, I think they played, oh God, I think they played the Heretics anthem, like right off the bat.
Solid.
And he came out there, Corey Taylor came out there, was like, and it was kind of like it's like a bar, and it kind of was like a circular thing. It was a smaller bar, but there could probably fit like, I think there was probably like 1,500 people packed in there. He had a table, and he crawled up this like railing and was literally standing on top of these people's table, just like destroying everything on his table, just screaming his ass off, like grabbing their head with the mic and just going to head. I mean, I'd never seen anything like it. He's like jumping from table to table, just killing it. And I was just like, who the hell is this? And why have I not heard of them before?
If Corey Taylor grabbed my head and screamed into my face, I don't know what I would do. Hey.
You never know.
Yeah. All right, so you want to pick one or you want to roll?
Go ahead and roll it.
Rolling we go with 26. Oh, here we go. Top 2 freaky songs on your playlist.
Oh, shit, I knew that was
coming, huh?
Top 2 freaky songs. Okay, well, I think talking about that Gore Doomsday song, that's pretty freaky, the way that is. So, I mean, we got that one there. Shockingly creepy. Gosh, like on a normal time, I could be like, oh, let me check my playlist. I got this one song and it's like really creepy and it's like gonna make your face melt off. I'm really, really excited. I've actually been listening to one of the songs that we have made, just like critiquing it, and it's really freaking creepy. And I'm like, I cannot wait to release that song. So like, I've probably played that song more than I've played a lot of other songs lately, just because I'm like, all right, where can I make this better? Where can I make this creepier? What do I need to do to, you know, make it more expressive or whatever? So that's really been on my rotation. But boy, I'm so excited for you guys to hear that. It's so freaking creepy.
Hell yeah.
So you are one of those ones that'll actually listen to your own music, because there's a lot of musicians that we've talked to, and they're like, once it's recorded, we don't ever go back and re-listen to it ever.
Well, here's the thing, like, we record stuff, and then when I go back up there, if there's something that I hear and I'm like, you know, there's this random sound in the background that I can't identify, or I'm slightly flat here, or the guitar's doing a weird thing here. Like, I listen to it a lot to just make sure that it's exactly the way that it's turning out, the way that I want it to, and that it's, you know, perfect to me. It may not be perfect to other people, but like, I have my mind's ear want something to be a certain way. So how else are you going to know if you flopped, if you don't listen to it and critique yourself?
Right.
You know, like I don't have my own song on my playlist per se. You know, at this point in the game, I have it on a few playlists just to try to incorporate it with other bands to kind of feed the algorithm. You know, people that I think would like our stuff. I try to add bands that are similar, which it's weird because there's not really anybody that I've heard that plays music quite like ours. So people ask
No.
us all the time, like, well, who do you sound like? I'm like, us. Like, you know, there's components of little bits and pieces of things that I have adapted from other types of music, but like the overall sound is not quite like anyone else's that I've heard. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
No, I would have to agree.
No, it's the best part of it.
That's one of the things that caught me like instantly, which those of you that are watching, please stay, because we are going to play one of their music videos right at the end. So please stay a while because it's worth it. Trust me. If you're not a fan yet, you're going to be. Just stay put. So on that, one last question before we get into the ending. What was that one pivotal moment in your life? Was it a band? Was it a song? Was it some type of scenario that made you decide that you wanted to be a musician? This is what you wanted to do.
I have wanted to be a musician for as long as I can remember. My mom used to tell this story before she passed away. You know, anytime people would ask about, you know, my music and whether, you know, how long I've been singing for, she would tell people that like when I was probably 18 months old or something like that, she heard me humming the Jeopardy theme song in my crib. So I have had a sense of music since I was just a baby. So I've always wanted to perform. I've always liked to mimic. My sister played piano when I was growing up, and I used to, you know, it cracked me up. You were talking about not being able to read music, but being able to like mimic and adapt, right? It was the same thing for me. Only like my family was not particularly musical, so I don't know that they necessarily recognized it to what extent. Like if I saw a child doing the things that I did, I would be like, holy crap, we got to do something with this one. This one's got something, right? We got to foster that into something else. So like that was what I did. And my piano teacher would get so mad at me because my mom eventually put me into lessons. And I would just have her play it for me and be like, can you just show me how the song goes? And then I'd watch her and then I would just play it back. And she'd get so frustrated because I could play intermediate music, but had no idea how to read the sheet music. And she's like, well, you got to learn how to do it. I'm like, I don't need your sheet music. Just show me how to do it and I'll do it. Like, what is your deal? Yeah. Except I didn't understand the value of it. Eventually, I did learn sheet music and went on to be, you know, pretty a big fish, little pond kind of in my school. Played saxophone, flute, whatever they needed me to play. I played it. But, you know, like I just always knew I wanted to perform. I just kind of gave up because I'm like, I'm 36 years old. Who on earth is going to just start their music career at 36? That's blasphemous. And then here I am like, well, eat your shoe.
It's gonna be you.
Well, I guess if things are going to start, they're going to start how they're going to start and when they want to start and when fate wants it to start. So that's
right.
Don't ever give up. If you have a dream, it can happen.
So on the end of that, where do you guys like to interact with fans the most? Where can they get your music? And most importantly, where can they get merch?
Okay, so if you go to strangelikeme.com, we have a landing page that's got all our merch. It's from Sticker Mule. My primary contact point, it would probably be TikTok because that's where I have the most interaction with people in my comment section there. I do some stuff on Instagram and some stuff on Facebook, but I'm the most active on TikTok, I would say. And as far as, what was the other question? Did I answer them all?
Yep.
I feel like that was like a 3 or 4 part question. And I'm like, merch, where to find me? Oh, my music.
Yeah.
Pretty much any platform that you like, as long as it's not some like weird abstract one from like somewhere that nobody's ever heard of. Now, if it's the normal stuff like Apple Music, Amazon, Spotify, YouTube, you can find all of our stuff on those major platforms, and then quite a few not quite as common ones, but still out there.
All right, fantastic. So for those of you watching, we're going to get right into it. Here is their video for In My Dreams, and we will see you tomorrow night. We do have one of the guys from Taproot. So join us, Halloween night special. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, guys.